All of us are searching, knowingly or unknowingly, for enlightenment, truth, and harmony in our lives. This program, hosted by Dr. Gregory Penn, will help you aspire to a more fulfilling and rewarding life.
Welcome back to Aspire Unplugged. This episode, we're going to be looking at materialism. But before we get into it, how do you like our opulent set? We were going for Opium Den of Transcendence. What do you think?
I like that. Opium Den of Transcendence.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. We accomplished.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as you know, I directed Terry Cole Whitaker back in the day toward the end of her television run, and she was wildly popular at the time. And, she had bumper stickers and everything that said, prosperity is your divine right. Is it?
Well, no. The divine isn't a right. It is a state of being. And just because you might get some moolah there are two kinds of people that go to church. And Terry knew her audience. There are the getters, and then there are the givers. And the getters are never givers, so she drew a lot of getters to her. If you want to fill up an auditorium, you give people the impression that it's their right, their entitlement to have whatever they want and to have a luxurious lifestyle and all of that. You promise them things that they'll never have. And it doesn't matter the amazing thing to me is it doesn't matter that it never happens. All you got to do is from some authority figure say, this is your divine right. And Terry used her sex appeal and her blondness and all of that other stuff to get people to believe her. If she'd gotten up there like Mother Mary, Mother Teresa would never have been the drawing thing, based on her looks. So we're a materialistic mess in America. Mm-hmm. And we pride ourselves on that. We don't care. We don't care.
Well, how do you balance or justify materialism with, your spirituality?
It depends on who you are. I could have a Ferrari, which I don't, but let's say I had a Ferrari.
You got a Batmobile.
I do have a Batmobile.
That's better than a Ferrari.
That's better than a Ferrari, but that's not used for prestige.
No.
But the whole idea of making something expensive become the benchmark of who I am and represent who I am is the issue. Mm-hmm. You can have nice things. There's nothing wrong with having nice things, but if they define you, then you've got a problem. And they do. They define people.
Right.
It's just the way we are as human beings.
Sure.
And that's why Buddha talked about desire being the big problem in humankind. Mm-hmm. He was on it all the time.
Well, you want to take a look at a clip
Sure.
from One Hand Clapping that addresses this.
Don't leave this earth thinking in terms that whatever you've accomplished in the world is meaningful. It isn't. Take with you those things that you have within you through death, and take them with love and compassion. The only thing you can take with you through death is love. You can't take your mind, you can't take your body, you can't take your memories, and you can't take your family. You can't take your possessions. Live for those things that you can take with you through death. And don't be fooled by the image, the illusions and the delusions of owning and having and keeping and hoarding and getting what you want. You're not a better person because you got what you want. You're a much more interesting person if you can let go of what you have. And most people don't give that much of a consideration. The world is the way the world is, not because it is evil or bad, not because you are evil or bad. It is the way it is, violent and corrupt and filled with misunderstanding because we have forgotten. We've disowned our spiritual life. We've disowned our heart. And we've made love a matter of priority of our selfishness and not our intuition. We look at love as something that we're entitled to and not as the nature of. You are a living example of the meaning of life, and I hope that you will consider it deeply. Please forgive me.
Not a popular message for the Western culture. And I don't, if you want to make money doing this kind of work, you don't say things like that, ever. You make people believe that you have the secret to their fulfillment of their desires, and the pedestrian mentality falls for that constantly. So what you saw there was, I would say, suicide. That was definitely suicide. And I would never take it back. To live for those things that I can take with me through death, people don't think like that. And they wouldn't even know how to think like that. There wouldn't be a consideration to them.
Well, a student asks, how can I take no thought for myself when I have rent to pay and mouths to feed?
Right. It's a very difficult thing because now you're mixing karma with psychology and the body and the instincts of the body. And, take no thought for my life is what Jesus said. And not, that is just not something, he wasn't popular when he said it. But you have to understand what he meant. It was in the context of your inner ability, your inner life. And sure, you got to pay the rent. I got to pay the rent. You got to pay that. This costs money to make these programs. It pays the rent. But from what intent am I doing these programs? And what intent are you doing them? That's the key. It's the intent. So, you look at paying the rent, take no thought for your life. Well, how do I do that? Don't make your life the rent. People don't find out what they love to do because they don't know what we all went to high school with those. What are you going to do after high school? I don't know. And, they're taking menial jobs that they never figured out what their life was all about. You have to understand what your life is about. And if you haven't figured that out by high school, you're probably not going to figure it out.
Would you say that if you do find your passion or your calling,
no,
not passion.
No.
What about your calling or what
if
feels
you feel
right?
the pull to something?
That's what I mean. If you feel that pull, then the things that you need come to you when you need them.
Yes, as you need them, as they are necessary for your life. I've been bestowed many things I didn't plan on having. I've been given more things than I can tell you. Cars, things like that for a while, and I don't question it anymore. I just, as it comes, it comes. And then as it goes, it goes. And I make sure that if it goes to somebody else who needs it too. I don't sell for profit.
Well, that's another question. We often joke, are you a meat puppet? When we put you up here on camera, you're a meat puppet and a professional beggar.
I am a professional beggar. That's what people have called me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because obviously you have to get these programs funded and
right.
and all the other things that you do in your life.
Right. This is all people funding this on their own to make this possible. And am I a meat puppet? That's a joke that we've always made about me, when I'm on set. You can interpret me any way you need to.
Right.
And if you interpret me, you'll miss me. But if you see through your own veil of greed and selfishness and pride, then you'll see what's really there. And not whatever I see in people. If I'm doing Greg, it's not true. It's just not true. And I love making jokes about him, but I don't take him to heart. I really don't.
Well, in procuring the funds to do shows and to do retreats and all the other things that you do, I mean, shouldn't you just be the guru on the mountaintop and wait for people to come to you? Why do you do this outreach and this active, trying to produce content?
A, I'm not a guru. B, the content I produce is to serve humankind. I'm not after people to come to retreats. I have kind of cut the people who would attend down to nothing almost. I have my group that I've worked with, the 50 that I choose to work with. But even then, I don't try to lure people in. I am not a Tony Robbins. I am not, he did that video, I'm not your guru, and yet he acts like one, and he's there to fulfill people's dreams. That is not what this is all about. You can fulfill all your dreams and still die empty and lost and alone. The truth of the matter is we are afraid of being alone. So the way I look at it is, if you hear what I'm saying and there's something within you that recognizes what I'm doing, not Greg, what I'm trying to do, then more power to you, But the content I put out is to help people. Radio, commentaries, video casts, podcasts, these programs. This is a, come be with me kind of thing. It isn't. I stay home, but consider what I'm saying. And maybe one day in one lifetime or another, you'll come and join me.
There are hours and hours of material on the website, aspire.org, and on the YouTube channel. And if you're interested in diving deeper into any of this stuff, just put on a video, check it out. It is amazing. The amount of stuff. I mean, like I said, I can't even, we've got hundreds of shows now.
Yeah, we do.
It's just amazing. And kudos to you for doing that for everybody. If it's there if they want it.
Yeah, it's there if they want it, and hopefully it'll help them. All I care about, and I say this to everybody, whatever I do for you.
Thank you. It's wonderful. And thank you for watching. Tune in for the next one soon.